for Rotary. Right? So really excited to share that information with you because that's good information. Member spotlights. As I look around the room, there's a couple members who we haven't gotten a chance to really get to know, and so I want to take an opportunity to call on a few members. So please, if public speaking embarrasses you, and some people have already talked to me, so I won't call on you. And also, please don't think I never call on certain people because I don't like those people. It's true I don't like those people, but I'm not calling on them because they asked me politely not to call on them. So we can't confuse the two items. But I'd like to call up one of our members to give us a member moment and talk about what they do and talk about who they are. And in member moments, more than anything else, right, what we like to share about member moments is a little bit about you, right? It's super important that we know that you're the chief supreme operating officer of the whole entire world and that everyone loves working for you, and your company is one of the best companies ever and it has the best flavored soda that anyone could ever drink. But we like to know you as a member, right? So just be kind enough to share a little bit about who you are personally. And I know we've had this member in a member spotlight, but because he's such a great speaker and he's such a talented individual, and he's in the middle of eating, and I just wanted to disrupt him anyway. Nate Jones, you'd come down and do member spotlight because what you do is so cool.
Hi everybody, Nate Jones. My wife and I own Infinite Trend. It's a home design showroom over on Arville and Hacienda. We deal a lot with designers and architects, but we do deal with the general public as well. We supply all kinds of finishes for your home or office. We do all kinds of stuff. We have quick ship cabinets that we can have all the cabinets for your house within a few days, and we do everything up to fully customized cabinets. Personal stuff about me. My wife and I moved here about 5 years ago. We have 2 daughters. We moved here from Hawaii, so my daughters think they're Hawaiian. my 6-year-old the other day said, "Dad, is that because we're Hawaiian?" And I said, "Yeah." My daughters are 6 and 9 years old. The 6-year-old plays violin, and the 9-year-old is a competitive pianist. So, there you go. Any questions?
I do. I have one because I became your Facebook friend.
Yeah. You're all welcome to be my Facebook friend, not just me.
Actually, no, that's not true. He said I was the only one who could post Facebook. Maybe he wanted to make me feel good. But since I'm a college football fan and I see on your Facebook page you support certain organizations, where'd you go to school?
I went to BYU, and my wife's minivan, which is not mine, I don't claim it, but the license plate says go BYU.
So fantastic, there you go.
Hopefully we'll have a good year this year.
And this showroom is awesome. If you've not been there, you've got to go.
So I haven't been there, so I appreciate that.
Come on in.
So I do have to come over. Arville and
Hacienda.
Hacienda. All right, that's close by my office. So you guys open in the middle of the day?
We're open anytime you want us to be.
But no general hours though.
General hours is Monday through Friday, 9 to 4.
Okay.
Sometimes Saturdays.
All right. And then you said you work mostly with contractors and architects. If someone personally wanted to come, but if someone wanted to bring their architect or they had their own architect,
absolutely,
you work. All right, fantastic.
Absolutely.
So keeping this trend going and getting to know more about so many people. There's somebody who we don't get to see very often, and so hopefully she won't be too shy, and she'll come up and share a member moment. And I know she's looking around because she's wondering, who don't they see very often? Because I'm here all the time. What is he talking about? Oksana, would you come up and share your member moment with us and tell everybody all about what you do? And then you've got an exciting family.
Hey, my name is Oksana Howard. I'm originally from Russia, but I've been in Las Vegas for 20+ years. I've been in entertaining business for 11 years as a professional dancer. I've done some share of real estate, and right now I'm doing luxury retail. I've been in luxury retail 10+ years. I'm married, have 2 boys. One is just turned 13, and the other one is 1 and 2 months.
Hey. Fantastic. Any questions for Oksana? Anybody want to know anything pressing, like professional dancer? What shows did you do? Where did you work?
I worked in Splash, or I worked in gym. I kind of worked all over Europe as well, but Splash was the show here in Las Vegas for 26 years, so I did that show.
Cool.
Yeah.
Explain some of the companies you work for here in town.
Okay, I work for De Beers, which is the diamond company, the wholesaler, probably the best diamond company in the world. I work for Swatch Group, who owns the Breguet watches, Blancpain. That's another company, and currently I'm with LVMH.
Which is, what is LVMH?
Louis Vuitton.
Gentlemen,
She was Walmart, you know.
gentlemen, pay attention. The holidays are coming.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to have Richard come up a little bit later on, sit down, kind of do a brief member chat with us and talk about some of the things we're getting caught up on. Richard had the opportunity to sit down with several different district governors within our region and outside of our region, and talking about some of the different focuses, where Rotary's going, different things we're focusing on, and then also we're going to beat the drum on what we always beat the drum on. But I didn't forget this. I just wanted to conduct a little bit of the meeting so you get a chance and an opportunity to get a flavor of it, and then I figured I'd come back around and say, do we have any visiting Rotarians? And to that I know we don't. Do we have any guest of Rotarians? Which I know we do. John, you have a guest, and if your guest would be kind enough to stand up and share with us who he is and what he does. And see, here we put the guest on the spot. We don't let the members do
I'm fine. I can talk to anyone. I have a marketing company that we actually started off in the East Coast in Florida, and moved on to all the way to New York, working with clients and helping them build profits and lowering also their marketing costs by putting them together with bundle packages of various different tools and that actually help them get more clients and more traffic to their business. Now we are transferring over everything to the West Coast now, and that's why I just moved here from Florida recently. And just started everything going on here. And I have 2 kids. One is 5 and one is 7. Starting school on Monday, so that's pretty crazy. I was in the military. I've been in corporate America in the past, and started being self-employed in 2012. Started in the financial industry, and moved on to marketing. As I felt working with businesses was what my calling was, and that's what I always did. So that's pretty much it. I don't know. Do you have any questions?
I did. Yeah, there you go.
My name is Richard. I apologize for that. Richard Trejo.
And the name of your company?
Mobiz Marketing Group.
How do you spell Richard's name?
Mobiz is M-O-B-I-Z. Yeah. And our website is mobizmarketinggroup.com. But I'll give you a card so you don't have to try to spell all that out.
And which branch, sir?
Navy Marines. I was a corpsman, Fleet Marine Force corpsman for the Marines. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, so the exciting agenda items, right? So the vote has come in, it's been tallied, right? The club has spoken, and t-shirts, t-shirts, t-shirts. We know exactly which style logo we want. We know exactly which way we want the logo positioned on the t-shirt. Also, the vote came in a while ago, but CC Rowe now is our school of choice. As it stands, our club is a new club, so financially we're building our foundation. We're not in a position to be a financial sponsor, but we are a non-financial sponsor. And so what that means is pretty simple, and I'll let Dr. Mahan explain some of the volunteer things we can do to support a school that has structure in place, right? Because normally we would financially support a school and put some of the structure in place, but Dr. Mahan found us a school that had a lot of the structure in place, so we can start out sponsoring the school as a non-financial sponsor and then maybe grow into a financial sponsorship.
Right. I talked to the principal of Rono School Monday and told him they had been voted in as our school, and he was thrilled. And he and I discussed projects, and he wants to start with a school piggy bank, which is not like our purple polio pig. It looks like a real bank, and the children learn banking there, checking and savings and balancing things and all that stuff. And I have a card for a foundation. I'm going to be calling to see about getting sponsorship for our bank there. Although maybe we'll get a grant from District 2 to help with that. And the other thing he wants us to start on is one of those really cool projects where we do like stencils of the states on the sidewalk and the metric system compared to the English system on the walls and that kind of stuff. And that would probably only cost us whatever the cost of the paint is, or maybe they already have the paint, I'll have to find out. I need to get the details on some of these things from Katie Decker at Bracken School, but she's now principal of 3 schools, and so she was a tad busy this week and I couldn't reach her, but I'll get her this weekend. Anyway, so we're just launching off there, and there's a lot of really cool projects we can do. Also, I'm going to be one of 2 people doing the Books with Buddies thing there as part of Spread the Word Nevada, because you have to go through a training before you can start. And they need to put a mentor center there, which they'd like to do for us, but first we have to get some mentors other than me and one other lady.
Sure. So for the mentor center, there's a whole program. First, they have to do a background check, right? So can we get the information?
Actually, Mary wants to come talk to us about the whole thing.
Perfect.
We'll have to get her as a speaker, and she'll explain all that.
But if she'll get us the information, we can start getting some folks teed up and ready and get them ready for background and training and all the other stuff. So Books with Buddies is a way for you to spread the word. Nevada provides books for children, right? And in this scenario, what Spread the Word Nevada does is Spread the Word Nevada has found schools where children don't have a book. So if you think about your own children, generally reading time is one of the most important things that happens in a child's life. In the very early onset, parents generally read a bedtime story or they read to their children, and at some point the transition happens where if you were like me, my mother used to have me read the newspaper to her every weekend, or she'd have me start reading to her, right? So she'd stress the importance of reading. Well, Spread the Word finds schools where, you know, these children are low-income children, and they provide books. And a lot of times it's the first book these children have ever owned that's their own book, right? And they get to take the book home, and in some cases, English is a second language in their home. So their family members can't read the books to them, and a lot of times the children are reading the books to their family members, right? So it's a very important program, it's a very special program, and what mentors do is they sign up to go to the schools at specific times, and they read to the children, and they spend time with the children reading to them and stressing the importance of reading. And as you all know, in the early education stages, reading comprehension is a very important part of education development. Yes.
And Ronald School already has breakfast with books where the Spread the Word Nevada people come in and give out a book per person who attends, including grandma and the baby and the carriage and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
So they built a library at the home. And they also have breakfast, of course, with family members, which is fun. They do that once a month during the school year, which is really lots of fun, and we can help with that too if we want.
Okay. So when you hear me say non-financial volunteering, you're thinking, well, what are we going to do, right? If we're not giving them any money, what can we do? But there's a lot we can do. Our presence, right? Speaking of that, right? The other program that we have where we can raise money, again, as a new club, right? We're building our foundation. Building our foundation is an important thing, because if we want to do the things that when we look at more established Rotary clubs, and when I say that, that's clubs that have been around for a while and had the opportunity to do fundraising, build foundations, and build up a piggy bank, so to speak, then they can do these large projects. Well, the All-Stars program is the Thomas and Mack Center program. I sent out some information saying here are the dates in which we can go and attend. I'd like to get 12 or more volunteers, because we have to have a minimum, and I'll stress this, we have to have a minimum of 12 volunteers to attend the program. Now what happens is they guarantee us a minimum of $225, right, for a small venue, $300 if we're working a larger venue, or anything above $300, they give you a percentage of the sales. So they have this figured out. Huh?
3,000.
3,000. In sales, right?
More than 3,000.
In sales, it's more than $3,000 in sales. I'm sorry. 300 is what they give us in money, right? So the importance of the program is twofold. One, the reason why t-shirts is, for those of us who served in the military, listen, we're really not that scary of guys, right? We're these small, tiny little, skittish looking fellows, right? But when you put us all in uniform, we look like this really empowering group of people. So when we get our t-shirts, right, we're going to go from just being these ordinary, average, successful people to these superheroes, because we'll all be in t-shirts matching. And when we go to places like All Stars with programs and wear dark colored pants, black pants, and rubber soled shoes, black shoes, and work in a group, the crowd will see us, and they'll see us in our great t-shirts, and they'll go, well, who are these Rotary people, and what are they doing, right? And then we can also do other venues and events, so that's why the t-shirts are important. But the All Stars program is important because unless we want to open up our checkbooks, and I encourage everyone, right, to just simply write a check. That's the easiest and fastest way to say, hey, we've got funds to go do whatever, right? And I know guys like Scott, right, could easily, just whip out the big pen. Him and Donald Trump are going out this weekend. I know that for sure. I heard he's in town, right? But so what are you holding up? The pledge. So again, unless we're going to just have members who write big checks, right? And that's possible. But the reality of life is even when we find people who want to write checks, they want to see what an organization does, right? The way we attracted the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to Rotary International, which is a big organization that's been in business for 111 years. They have had a foundation for 100 years, right? Is because they saw the proof was in the pudding. We go out and do things, and Bill and Melinda Gates says, you guys really do stuff. We're going to put our money where your mouth is, and that's what we need to do with programs like the All-Star programs. And I encourage all of you to find other programs like the All-Star programs where we can put a little bit of our energy and effort, right, out, and then we get money back for putting our energy and effort out. And then, of course, other members in our clubs may be inclined to match the work we do, right? So if we go out and raise $300, we may find members that say, hey, if you guys go out and if you earn, if you sell over $3,000 and get a percent matching and you earn $350, I'll match you dollar for dollar. Or 2 for 1 if they're like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, right? So for every dollar you bring in, $2, or even if it's 50 cents to the dollar. The importance of these programs, and I know I'm banging this drum hard, but the importance of these programs is these are the programs that allow us to earn money to put in our foundation so that we can begin to build and develop projects that are funded by our club. And the only way we do that is if we have money in our foundation, right? So, enough on the All-Star program. Leffler Grant, yes sir.
On the All-Star thing, there were 2 dates on those training.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have to go to 2 or just one of those?
Good question. So there's 2 things, right? I would like everyone who's not opposed to handling alcohol. If you are, it's not a problem, right? But I would like everyone to attend 2 sessions. There is a general class, and then there's the class that gets you what's called a TAM card, and that's a state of Nevada thing, or maybe it's a Clark County thing. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend like I know, and it's a simple $5 fee, right? But they're 2 different classes, and so I'd love everyone to attend the 2 different classes. But to your point, I had 2 dates for the one class, 2 dates for the other class. If you can only attend one class, obviously the non-alcohol handling class is the general class, and then the alcohol class is specific to what you're supposed to do. I assume, being from Illinois, there was a class that when I was a bartender you had to take to identify when you no longer serve a patron anymore. That's probably what this class is about, is identifying the appropriate behavior to be able to serve someone alcohol, the appropriate behavior to make sure you validate that someone's of age, 21 and older, those type of things. So that's my assumption of what the class is. But there were 2 dates on each one. I really would like everyone to attend both the alcohol class and the general class. That way, as many members as we have as certified in both sides of the house, it makes it easier when we show up that we can work anywhere, right? And I'm assuming that we probably earn more money if we're working on the side of the house where we're pouring beers, because that generally costs more, so that means sales are higher, right? Yes, ma'am.
Can you repeat the dates again? Do you know them?
I don't know them off the top of my head, but I will resend the email back out again, and I'll make sure I send the information back out again. There are more dates that go further out, and the reason I didn't give those dates is because I don't want people going, well, let's push it out to October, November. Remember, it's only during the season that the sports is in play at the college, things are going on at the Thomas and Mack, things are going on out at Sam Boyd. So the sooner we get trained, the sooner we can get on the schedule, because there are other organizations that we compete with that want the dates, right? So the sooner we get our people trained, the sooner we can say, hey, we'd like to volunteer for a date to work, right? And we can work multiple dates, so we can raise money multiple times. Yes?
And those boots fill up really fast.
They do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we used to do it with the scouts, and it was hard to get the boots you wanted unless you did it in the beginning.
Okay, all right. So there we have it, right? It's very important that we get as many volunteers. We had an immediate response once it was sent out, so thank you very much, Sarah Gordon. I will put you out in front of the whole club as someone who volunteered immediately once you saw it, right? So that's very appreciated. But the All-Star program is a very important program for us for raising money. Last bullet point I want to talk about is the Leffler grant, right? So when we support a school like C.C. Rowan Allen, we talk about it being non-financial because, well, we don't have funding yet, right? There are opportunities to get grants for education type programs. So there's a couple more slides beyond this. I'm going to show everyone the t-shirt that we selected and voted on, and then I'll show you some of last year's grants that were awarded for programs. So Leffler program is about children, and it's about education is a loose term because you're going to see some of the awards that were given. It's not education from the standpoint of, boy, it has to be school, books, the institution itself. It has to be about child development or children being developed, right? So that's cool because it gives us some flexibility. There are multiple grants that are awarded. I believe they award 8, if I read it correctly, or up to 8. I think on the slide I'm going to show there were 6 or so granted last year. So we're going to fill out the application. Obviously, Rowan Allen is our school. Yes, sir.
There was 25 applications last year. They originally allocated $8,400 out to 8 people, of which $1,000 is supposed to go to the max, and then they let 2 other people come in total. So there's 10 people that really got awarded $8,400, but 25 people applied. And there's easily many ways to get disqualified because the money has to go in your own area. It has to stay within District 5300. There's a lot of little tiny rules that if you're funding a $1,200 project and you want their $1,000, they won't do it. It's a $1,000 project.
Okay.
So there's a lot of rules of how to make that work because most people fail.
Right. And so we have until October to submit our paperwork. You already have it? Do you have it? You don't? All right. So then I have another copy today. I was prepared. Not for you, John. I know you asked me earlier for paperwork. So we're going to make sure that we work on a project idea. We're going to keep that idea at $1,000 so that we don't get disqualified. We're going to follow the rules. We're going to make sure we work with it. Obviously, we're fortunate because Richard was a district governor aide, so he is very well versed in this information. We're going to work with Dr. Mahan to make sure that we fill out the paperwork right. So we can be fortunate, right? And we can have a grant awarded to us and we can do a financial project with our school, right? So that's kind of how it works, right? We go out and we do some sweat equity and we earn some money. We go out and we can get grant money that's given to us because there were people who, you know, left a legacy behind in Rotary, and this woman left behind a grant to the organization because she wanted to make sure that the future was cared for, right? So that's part of our foundation, and Richard was holding up the documents. That's part of foundation and giving, and we have bequests, and there's a lot of ways in which people can give in Rotary, and there have been a lot of very generous people who have given to Rotary, and these type of grants, the Leffler grant is the type of grant that continues because of someone's generosity, and then of course clubs like ours get to benefit from it because we can help out schools immediately even though our budgets are relatively tight in the beginning. Yes, sir.
Well, Mrs. Leffler, Mr. Leffler's already has passed. Mrs. Leffler is on the committee there, and also our board member, which is Randy Pope, as an past district governor. He's also on the selection board on who picks the items of who gets awarded money. So we have a well-known path to that doorway.
So the good news is we understand the program and the process, and we should be relatively successful in filling out the application appropriately. We stand a very good chance of being considered. So on to the good news, right? Oh, it's 5:30. I better speed it up. I don't want to cheat you out of your time. T-shirts, t-shirts, t-shirts. Am I the only one excited about t-shirts? I've been pumping this t-shirt thing for quite some time, right? I'm excited about t-shirts. So this is the t-shirt. Now, I will say this because I know we have some t-shirt experts in the room, right? So I've received some emails from people telling me about, where the placement can be and what it'll do and how the overlay is and all that other stuff. We will cover the official technical details when we go to bid, and I will make sure that we go to the right vendors and we bid it properly and do it all. This is for demonstration purposes only. I've had several emails that said, listen, and they gave me the calculus formula of how t-shirts are made, right? This is for demonstration purposes only. I just needed to get everybody's vote and get a general idea of where they wanted it placed. Now, I'll be the first one to say I voted to have it down in the center of the shirt, so you guys all voted against me. I'll be the first one to say I voted for the other logo, so you guys all voted against me. So this was truly about what the club wanted, right? Not what someone decided we should have. And this is what, as a whole, in voting, our club decided. So the rotary wheel will be somewhere over on the side. What the color of these letters will be determined by our vendors when we talk to them, because again, we're going to make sure the t-shirts are affordable. So if it costs a bunch of money to get them in these gold colors, this may be in white. That's just the fact of life, and we'll deal with it because we want to make sure that the t-shirts are affordable. So Las Vegas One Rotary Club, Las Vegas One Rotary Club may be in white. The wheel will be the wheel. We'll do what we can do to keep the integrity of the wheel. Yes, ma'am.
As long as you've got gold on the wheel, you can have gold on the words too.
Okay.
It's still one color, and as long as you've got a white underneath it, this is a minimum 2-color job, no matter what you do.
Okay.
So if you add more colors, you're adding more screens and more colors, but white and gold.
Fantastic. So then we stand a chance of getting our blue and gold colors, right? And so we're all going to have this. What's going to happen, right? And this is what we're going to do, because we're going to send out a form so everyone can fill out their size and who wants to order a t-shirt. And we're going to make sure that as a club, I told you guys all in the very first when we were talking about the logo, that as the fiduciary, right, responsibility, that's what the officers have, the fiduciary responsibility, right, we won't just mishandle club money. So we're not going to go out and order up a bunch of t-shirts in a bunch of sizes and then hope they get sold, and then if they don't, the club's got a bunch of t-shirts. We will send out an order form, and people who are interested in buying a t-shirt or 2 or 10 or 20, right? You might want one for every day. I don't want to cheat you, right? You may want to spend, shirt, tie. I mean, that looks nice for the shirt and tie. So we're going to send those out. We're going to collect the order forms. We're going to, make sure we try to order. And of course, we're going to have to order in a batch amount. We can't just like, if I get 20 back, I'm sure there's a minimum order and we're going to order the minimum, right? But we're going to make sure up front. So please don't fill out a form and say you want a t-shirt if you don't want a t-shirt. And, we're going to do our level best. And I'm making this number up, so please don't shoot the messenger, but I'm going to do everything I can to keep it in the affordable range. And when I say that, that's going to be under the $20 range, right? And I don't know how much under $20 I can keep it. Some people told me, good luck. Some people said, yes, it's possible. So I'm going to do everything I can to make sure we keep our t-shirt price under $20. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. Since it's male, female, is it going to be separate sizing, or are they going to be all men's sizes, or how will we know it's women?
You should be able to get women's sizes.
Aha.
And that would be inclusive of your total quantity too.
Okay.
Well, whoever the bid is from, though, they usually have the female version and the male version. So, because we do that as well. So.
Okay. See? And that's what I'm saying. So behind the scenes, I'm really going to be reaching out to all the experts who were kind enough to email me. So don't think if you sent me an email and I didn't respond, that it was because I was offended or upset or worried. I was just getting the basic information out first, figuring out what we were going to be working on. Then I was going to double back to those who really have the knowledge and information. And we will go out and get a minimum of 3 bids, right? So we make sure, we try to get the best price we can. And we will do our best to support any club member or anyone connected to a club member's business, because that's what Las Vegas One is about, supporting our own, right? But again, we will be responsible with the money. We won't support our own if that means we're paying a 20% premium. That won't happen. We will make sure that everything is in a competitive bid situation. But excitement. This is it. We're almost here. And then, of course, our good friend Bruce Mandel. Sorry, Bruce, if I'm putting you out here on blast, but he asked for a specific color and was willing to buy a couple in a specific color. So we're going to try to accommodate. I'm going to be asking those who are experts in this field to find out if we can do specific colors. So, yes, sir, you had a question.
So, is this considered like a uniform, meaning only Rotary members should wear this shirt? You can't give them to friends, kids.
Absolutely not.
Give
You
them
can
anybody
give
wants
these
to,
away as
the more the
Christmas
better.
gifts, Hanukkah gifts. You can give them away as Thanksgiving presents because that's when people come home. Going off to college gifts. You can hand these out just on the street corner, everywhere you want. Next time someone comes up and says anything will help, roll down your window, give them a Rotary Club t-shirt. It's a beautiful thing. These can be worn by everybody, but it's also a uniform. If you are a Rotary member, yes, you are expected to wear one every day, whether it's under a shirt or over a shirt, must be worn. So that's why I said if you're going to order 1 or 20, I mean, I just don't know how much you wash at your house, but.
Who's gonna check?
So you do need black pants? You mentioned black pants, black shirt.
No. When we do the All Stars event specifically, right? So any event we attend as a group, I would prefer we wear our Rotary shirts, right? Just because it makes us look better. But at the All Star event specifically, they require that we wear black pants and black shoes, right? So we can wear the shirt. That's where we get the flexibility on that, right? And who's gonna check? I think for the girls, I'm gonna pick you, and for the boys, I'm picking Richard. So past president duties usually fall to checking to make sure the uniform is worn.
So as
Yes.
they come in the door, we have to make sure they got a shirt on.
No. As they get ready every morning before they go off to wherever they go. So you guys have to drive around the back.
You can do it on FaceTime.
It is, and you can FaceTime it, right? You can Instagram check, you can do all kinds of things. Yes, ma'am.
If we go and help a sister club do something, we should have our shirts on too.
Absolutely. If we volunteer and go to CC Rowan now and read to kids, we should have our shirts. We should, wear them as often as we possibly can. Wear them to all types of events. I mean, I understand that some of you support your alumni, right? Be a BYU fan here. So but when you go to a game, you can wear your Rotary shirt, right? You can wear your Rotary shirt and your BYU cap, and you can cover both bases all at once, right? There you go. You can get a boost.
That's good enough.
And then I wanted to share with you some of the ideas. So this I pulled right off the site, 2015, 2016. These were the grants that were awarded. As Richard stated, 25 applications were submitted, and here were the people who were lucky enough to get a grant. $1,000 is the maximum, and there was $8,400 total put out. So everything from the Adelanto Club, right?
Right.
They had a flag football program for youth. Again, I said this wasn't a technical books institutional style learning. It's just about youth, right? So flag football obviously can be used as a teaching tool and a way in which to educate and teach children. And of course, as we all understand, football and head injuries, and so flag football is becoming much more popular. Richard, I'm cheating you, by the way. We only got 5 minutes left, so we'll have to do the information next time. Apple Valley Club, I'm not really sure what shock is. I should have done my research. Do you happen to know?
It's another project with the kids.
Okay.
Every one of those, including the electric vehicle at the bottom, is similar to what Reza does.
Right.
With the drones, they happen to do it with solar and electric vehicles. So every one of those is directly tied to learning children something, whether it's gardening, books, education of some different level.
As you can see, Lancaster Sunrise Interact. So we have Rotaract, which is the college age kids, the adult kids, and then we have Interact, right, which is the younger children. And so obviously there was a garden club and an Interact program at a school, probably they work with, so they were able to get $1,000 for it. Read Across America was probably a program similar to what we're talking about with Spread the Word with our Roanoke School, and they were able to get $400 for their program. North Las Vegas Club, so here we have a local club, Summerlin Club as well, but North Las Vegas Club, they got the Storyteller Club, right? So obviously they probably did story time with children, and they were able to get $1,000 to fund that. So, I mean, we have an opportunity. This is a great chance for us, right, as a young club to get a grant from a wonderful woman who's supporting, helping children. And then as you can see, Montebello did homeless, right? So I don't know what homeless means, but I would assume that it's dealing with children that are homeless and some sort of activity that supports working with them. And I didn't see the submission, so I don't know if it was just time spent with them, helping them with hygiene, grooming habits, reading to them. I mean, it could be a myriad of things. You know, one has to remember, right? Children need to be developed in all sorts of ways, right? So, you know, I'll pick on my good friend John here because I'm his Facebook friend as well. And John posted a throwback picture, and it was his little daughter, and his daughter was with her grandmother, and she was taking the dishes one by one out of the dishwasher, helping her grandmother put the dishes up, right? These are important things, right? These are developmental tools because it helps her understand how things get done in a house, right? So I have no idea exactly what this homeless program was, but my assumption is it has to be done with children, and I'm assuming it probably targeted children that were in the homeless world. So these are the grants, right? And from a time standpoint, we are 2 minutes out from the end of the meeting, so I'm going to wrap it up here with the grants. This is the LVWON grant. I'm super excited, obviously, about our t-shirts because it just helps us form and become stronger as a unit, as a club. Things we can do. Remember, I said to you guys all earlier, if you have causes, if you have things, Junior Achievement is something that I get a bunch of information on. We donate a lot of time and work from. They have they call it a boola-bola-thon or some little play on words, right? And so, you know, as long as 5 people are willing to come together and say they'll, you know, generate $100 a person, so $500, and they can get a team and go together, right? We could easily, as a team, put our Rotary shirts on and go out, and we can raise money and do something for Junior Achievement. We can go on an autism walk. We can go on you name it, the project, right? But those projects, in my opinion, have way more impact when we have shirts and we look more organized and we look like a group, because then people see us and go, who are the cool kids over there doing X, and what are they about? And so now, remember, back to membership, right? An organization is only as strong as gathering members, and so easier to gather members when they see us organized and rallied up and doing things together. People like to be part of positive things and groups of people doing positive things. Sarah first?
I was just going to say October, I'll send you the information so you can send it out, but October there's a JDRF function, which used to be called Juvenile Diabetes Research Fund, but now we know that diabetes isn't necessarily juvenile because I have it.
Okay.
So I want to send that out so that hopefully we can get a walk going for that. I thought that would be cool with the t-shirts.
Yeah.
We can all get together and do that.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Some of the other things that we can do with your t-shirts and do fundraising at the same time and also membership at the same time. Eric with the 51s, when I paid him the check the other day, I convinced him that he should become a member, which he's in the process of doing.
Okay.
He will also, at his events, allow us to set up a table out in front of the box office, in front of everybody coming through the doorway.
Awesome.
For free.
Awesome.
So we have all our little t-shirts on, and we tell them what we're doing. We ask for donations, we ask for membership people, and it costs us nothing.
Awesome.
So these are all things that can be done once Nathan gets his t-shirts in place. It's all his fault.
So with that, we always end the meeting on time. It is exactly 5:45. I'm going to hit the bell. That doesn't mean that everyone has to leave immediately. I will stand here and answer anything anybody wants to know, but I want to make sure that I respect everyone's time who has to leave at 5:45. With that, meeting adjourned. All right, so just for your edification, when you talk about the 51s, obviously you know the 51s, the baseball team. Well, you're new to town. You might not know, but the 51s is the minor league baseball team. But what happened was, for the Nellis and Creech Airmen and their families, the lower enlisted, we raised money, right? So we bought tickets, and they gave us discounted rates, so $5 a ticket. So if I gave $20, I was sponsoring 4 people to be able to go to the game. Right. And so they were able to go to the game. Richard, we had what, 389, 400, how many? 400. So we had 400 airmen and their families that we were able to sponsor and support by raising money and giving them the tickets so they could attend the game. It was our way of saying thank you for your service.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man.
So that's what he was making reference to, is that, you know, the gentleman who we work with on that marketing campaign is going to become a member of our club, and then of course allow us to stand out in front of the space and go, hey, learn what Rotary's all about while people are going to the game, so, or any of the events.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
I wanted to make sure we cleared that up. Oh, I forgot our parting slide, which John is our new president of Rotary, and thank you for attending. We look forward to seeing you next week, and always bring a friend. But that's our new RI president and his wife Judy. So.
Right on. Well, way to go, man. So this is it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna send you a check or the check number or whatever. You know,
Perfect.
Account number or something like that, because I just like to get when I do things like this, I like to do it on that account. You know.
Richard, thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you.
My name is Gloria.
I told you I'm gonna give you my cards.
Thank you. Up until recently, I owned
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I said up until recently, I owned Silver State.
Well,
So
I
we did
started it when I was in
printing
Boy
and
Scouts,
mailing
Academy of
drawings,
Ireland.
printing and all that stuff.
Okay, so I
Sold the
said,
business.
oh, great. You know, I was doing something.
And right now, primarily, I'm looking for
I was
something.
standing there on the
Yeah.
I've got a
beach,
degree in
and I got
marketing,
all
I've owned a
these
business for
rowboats
20
all
years,
lined up,
and
you know,
Yeah.
using
I
them
did
to read
everything,
everything.
just about. I didn't do the embroidery.
Boats. What do I see? I see a rotary wheel on the back of the boat, and I see another one, and another one. It's like, can I get a picture of this and turn it to you? So,
you
Well, we
flash
got
up there.
we got splashed up.
Yeah.
We're also gonna put it on our Facebook
Stuff
site.
with the
Yeah.
Like, you guys-
Absolutely.
Oh, we are.
We are. You're one of those.
Starting up right now.
Trying to fit in
Once everything's
somewhere,
established, we have like
you
a
know,
good
Little by